Hello, welcome to AU Radio. We're a small podcast network hosted out of Adventures Underground, a friendly local neighborhood game store based in Richland, Washington. Thanks for tuning in today. Our podcast features 3 shows every month. You can find out more about them on our About page, or check out our link tree to learn more about us and Adventures Underground. Make sure to like, subscribe, maybe click that notification bell, and we'll move right along onto today's episode.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this month's episode of Game Cabinet. Woo! This week month. God damn it.
Ah, you were so close, man.
So on point till the last second. This week we're reaching in and we're grabbing Colt Express.
Hey.
Should we all be talking in like Western like drawls?
That was really loud.
I should have prepared
That's
more
right.
Sheriff Hemlock if that was going to be the case, and I did not prepare to be in that headspace.
I will be totally honest with you guys. If I try and do like a Western drawl, I will eventually end up in pirate speak, so we're not doing this.
I was thinking you were going to go like Foghorn Leghorn or something, but
6 to 1, half a dozen of the other land pirates. They're just not as cool.
Fair. Just not as cool. That's why I can't do voices in my D&D campaigns, is because everything eventually ends up as like just really bad Brooklyn accents. And I
was gonna say bad Brooklyn, Irish or terrible Scottish, but I can get the Southern, and those are my 3 accents for characters.
I can do. I will eventually end up okay. And this is because I live somewhere where I am surrounded by a very large like Latino community. I am so white, and my Spanish accent is so bad that it is offensively bad. But if I do voices long enough, I will end up back there because that's the accent that I hear the most.
All right.
And then I feel horrible. Because I'm like, no, I can't do this accent. This is not a good accent for me to have. Either that or really bad Russian.
Ooh, but bad Russian's always fun.
Truth.
But Colt Express.
Yeah.
We actually all got to play it except for Hannah.
Except for me, because I'm a user.
You were busy doing stuff and things.
I was very busy, but like, I still feel bad. I wanted to play with you guys.
But I, who have never looked into the game ever, primarily because when I have time to play games, I have hours to play games. So
Sure.
I tend to look at those just bigger games and stuff like that. Or I'm either looking for, give me 3 to 4 hours of play, or I'm looking for, I need like 30 minutes of play. That is like max. So I'm normally on the very tiny end of the spectrum, or I'm on the very large end of the spectrum. I don't tend to pay as much attention as I should to those middle of the line games. And Colt Express was definitely one that I'm probably going to pick up for my house, actually.
It's just so much fun. It's like spaghetti Western train heist, the game.
Yeah. Yes. I really like that description for it. It wasn't too hard. It was what we all started with, a deck of 10 cards?
Yep. You all get 10 cards that are specific to the character that you've taken.
Yeah, and then you get 6 bullet cards for your 6-shooter that you get to take shots at other people in other carts for. There's your marshal card, which is in your deck, and I thought was pretty cool, but you get the chance to move the marshal and kind of bone over your fellow bandits and such.
And if you ever move the marshal into a place with another bandit, then they like drop some of their loot and get bumped to the top of the car.
Yeah, they've got to run immediately to the top row, which bit me in the butt a couple of times.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
so
by the end of the last hand, I was starting to get it. But you've got your 10 cards, you pull 7? 6? I remember it was slightly over half.
6.
Thank you. I know it was slightly over half to start with.
And then my character's special ability entirely was to draw an extra card, so I had 7.
Yeah, but then you get your 6 cards, and it's essentially reverse programming is the best way I can put it. Normally you program something to go, you're going to do this first, this second, this third, this fourth. You start in reverse on this one. So with the 3 of us playing, and it's normally about 4 rounds per, they've got little round cards that tell you how to play. Sometimes you get a double up and stuff like that, and it tells you, but I think it's about 4 cards. So you have to start with 4, 3, 2, 1 versus 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
And so you've got to think in this cool backwards kind of a way where I ended up by the end taking my cards and whatever I wanted to do for the turn, I put in backwards order so that I'd play the last thing I wanted to do first. And I'd just pick through my hand that way. And unless I needed to change something, that's like how I was running my cards so that I'd remember to go backwards.
And so the game board is actually a train.
Yeah, the game board itself is, I think it's the engine plus a cart per player, I think is what it is.
Number of players plus one,
Number of players plus one?
I think so. Because I think
we had 4.
Out. Yeah.
I was like, I can't remember if we had 3 or 4.
Or did we just have the 3 and then the...
No, we had just the 3 and the engine.
Okay.
Maybe you're supposed to have that plus 1 and we just didn't do that. It's fine, though, if you forget.
No, place the locomotive and as many cars as there are players in a row.
Okay.
All right, so yeah.
I'll bring up why
the locomotive is plus 1.
There's like a new version of it, like a micro version that does the players plus 1 thing.
Oh, okay.
Cool. There's a micro version coming? That's going to be actually really rad. I might hold out on that or held out for that. Is that out or?
Yeah, it's out.
Shit, it's out. Oh, I might pick up the mini copy.
We can talk about the main game. Then I'll bring that one up. I watched a video about that one this morning.
But yeah, so it's as many cards. So yeah, it's essentially players plus 1 in cards because you're using the engine as one of the carts it can. It spawns with the Marshal in it, and I believe it spawns with a briefcase, which a briefcase can be worth like 10 or 1,000.
Okay.
Is essentially what it can be worth. So it's worth a hefty penny. And then all your cards are like move sideways. You can go left or right if you've got the room to go left or right. Move up so you can be on top of the train. And that's kind of how you avoid the Marshal for the most part, is that if the Marshal's about to come into your thing, you can try to move up top real quick and move across and avoid the Marshal. If you don't avoid the Marshal, you get shot and then are sent upstairs anyway. And
then the bullets that you take, if you get shot whether by the Marshal or another player, they basically become dead cards in your hand.
Yeah,
because they're cards that you add to your actual, like, your deck that you shuffle up and draw again from. So it's like, yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, I shot you like 2 or 3 times, Chrissy. I'm so sorry.
What?
In the game, I shot you like 2 or 3 times.
Your character can get shot like 30 times, probably.
Yeah, I think George shot me once. I think Chrissy shot me twice. I think the Marshal shot me twice. It got to the point where I was praying to the card gods that I wasn't going to get a handful of bullets.
Yep.
But it's left and right, up is up and down. So if you're on top, you can move down. Loot, punch, which is really cool. Chrissy, I don't think you got to activate your special ability, really.
My ability was if I punch someone, I immediately steal like a bag of gold from them.
But up, down, left, right, punch, loot, the most important thing for a bandit. You gotta loot.
You gotta.
Loot is strewn throughout the cards, essentially. Was there a specific way to lay those out, or was it just grab a handful of things and throw it onto the carts?
Oh, each car has a little icon on it that tells you how much loot is on each one. Like how many, there's like rubies, and then there's bags, and then other than that, there's the strong boxes that you were mentioning.
Yeah, and strong boxes have a chance to just drop, because we had that second one that just randomly dropped in.
There's one of the
specific card brought another one on.
Yep. You can go both ways. It can either be an extra strong box or another Marshal can actually pop onto the train too.
Oh God!
Yeah. Oh, I didn't realize that. Yeah, that would have been
awful.
Well, yeah, we only had 3 cards, so if there were 2 Marshals, we all would have got shot.
Yeah, only two of the cards would have been available at the time.
That one might only be in a 4 to 7 player game, or like a 5 to 7 player game.
Oh yeah,
because otherwise you would just constantly be like getting shot and moving him around.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's the other thing is that you can't shoot the Marshal. I really wanted to sing I shot the sheriff, but I can't shoot the sheriff, and I'm disappointed in this.
That seems that doesn't seem like spaghetti westerns at all. They always shoot at the Marshal.
Yeah, it's one of those things where the Marshal has plot armor, is what I'm assuming is the case here. He's the main character. We're just the scum and villainy that are trying to do our job. So he's kind of got plot armor, is by what I can tell.
You got some of those up, down, left, Clone Wars guns where they just punch, never hit.
Oh, and shoot is your like final card. Oh no, and then Marshal, your Marshal card is your final card. But it's very simple, reverse programming. But it takes... I was like, oh, this isn't going to be too hard. And then I kept forgetting to play cards in the reverse order I wanted to do them in. So...
like, ooh, I'm in a cart that has like 7 things to loot. I'm going to put a loot card down. Oh, wait, I can't do that until the very end.
Oh,
yeah. Oh, I needed to loot first and that, or loot last.
And you really only have a certain number of each of those cards, so like you gotta be pretty precise where you put them down, and then hope that your opponents aren't slowly screwing up your plans right
moving
away.
the marshal
Moving the
into your
marshal,
way,
yeah.
or I think somebody swooped what I was trying to loot real quick, and then there was no more loot in the
So-
cart, and I was like,
So when you play your cards down, is it like you play 3 cards and then it's like everybody goes around and does action 1, action 2, action 3?
Kind of. It's
Okay.
it's a collective stack in the middle, and then you basically will go around and you'll be revealing your actions cards.
Okay.
Wait, right?
no, all of them were face up unless you had my character.
Oh, that's right.
I specifically took a character called Ghost, where the first card I played per round, I could play face down.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if
Yeah,
I was
that's
like,
right.
oh, I want
That's
to loot this, I want to loot at the end of my thing, so I'm going to try to move over here, and then I want to loot. I can play that loot card face down, and then they play theirs face up on top of mine.
Okay.
And then, so there are rounds, and then there are plays within the rounds, essentially. So
Okay.
you have a round card. It does, I think 4 was the most that we saw. I don't think there was a 5.
Yeah, I think
But-
it played over the course of 4 general rounds in which we
Yeah.
played a bunch of cards in each
And
one.
then I think each round has, essentially each round card has blank cards on it, like your stereotypical dotted lines and
Oh, yeah,
grayed
yeah.
out center to show you how many cards you're supposed to play. Because
Mhm.
like you'll get a normal one where it's like, okay, play, and you'll get a normal one. And it's like, all right, we play, and then it'll be my character's icon. Everybody plays upside down.
Yep.
Everybody gets a hidden round. Essentially, it's kind of like going through the train tunnel.
Yep.
You don't know what they're intending to do in that
Nice.
moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
really cool.
Yeah.
And then you play another card, and then you play whoever went last does their move, and then you go back around.
And the cards are all
in the
color
reverse
coded,
way.
right? Because
Yeah.
everybody has different
Based on
colored
the
little
character,
yeah, all,
meeples.
all on your character
Okay.
has codes so that you can keep track of, so you can keep track of whose card is whose and stuff like that.
I was like, how are you playing all your cards in a pile? Wouldn't that just get confusing?
Yeah,
and then,
every-
then I was like,
everybody's
everybody
color
has to have color coordinated.
yeah, everybody's color coordinated, but you round, and so everybody plays up. You essentially how I think of it is the stack from Magic. You spiral your way up the stack and then spiral your way back down the stack, essentially.
Huh, okay.
So the first card played is the last card acted.
Right.
Gotcha.
And unless you're Drew, that means that you're seeing what your opponents are doing at the end of the round, at the very
Okay.
beginning of
So,
the
so,
playing the
so if you
cards.
play your loot card, then somebody else is like, oh, they're going to try and loot, so I should loot before them since I get to put my card down 1st,
Mhm.
kind of thing.
Or maybe I need to move the marshal into this card that's next to them and force them.
So
they can choose either to come into my card
so
or
it's
run.
competitive, but also cooperative.
Kind of. You can make
'Cause
like all bandits. You can make deals,
Okay.
but
Yeah, because I
At
mean,
the
like,
end of the
the
day, you're here
premise
for you.
is like, you're a team of bandits, but like, you're not really a team.
you're not.
Oh,
a team
no,
of
yeah,
bandits.
you're trying to be
you
the one
are
that gets the most
bandits,
loot, yeah.
and should you decide to work towards a greater goal together, that like all bandits, that's your choice. But at the end of the day, you don't know if that guy's gonna then be like, oh, hey, we're in the same card. It's the last round.
Bang, bang, bang,
Punch.
bang, bang.
And I did also make it a little side quest of mine to get the gunslinger bonus, because if you shoot the most players, then you get an extra $1,000 at the end.
Which is
Yeah.
a lot.
Which
Like,
is a lot.
You
lot.
start off with 250.
I mean, $1,000 is a lot in real money too. So,
It was a lot of getting lucky, because like, I mean, it mattered. Like, I think you guys moved into my line of fire one
You
or two
ended up winning?
times.
Yeah,
who won?
I did.
he did.
You did.
It was mostly because of that. Like, that was
It
most
was-
of my lead was just that back.
Yeah,
then.
it was that because I had gotten one of the cases as well to catch, or
That's great.
lock boxes to catch back up, and we didn't get the $10 lockbox. We
Aw.
got the other $1,000 lockbox. And I
Nice.
was like, okay, this caught me up a bit, and then he got that 6-shooter bonus and ran off with it.
Well,
I love that they break it down. Like, it's you can kind of simply broad strokes explain it by the game is played in 2 phases across many rounds, and it's phase 1 is scheming when you're playing your cards, and phase 2 is stealing when you're activating the cards.
I love it. Scheming and stealing.
Yep.
Scheming
Colt
and stealing.
Express.
Yep.
What I was surprised by was the amount of awards this game has won.
Oh yeah.
Like, I know that a lot of games like flaunt like, oh, we won this award and we won that award. They won multiple awards in a year.
Yeah.
Like multiple
Nice.
times. I think 2014, 15, and 16, they won multiple awards.
Cool.
For 2014, I think they won Best Innovative Game, Best Family Game, and something else. And like 1 or 2 others that they won that year alone, like the year it dropped. It opened up, it blew out the waters. And I was like, that's actually really cool, because a lot of people tend to flaunt that stuff on their cover as well. like to an obnoxious point.
Yeah.
And they don't really. And that's one of the things that I was like, wait, you guys have won some things. Like, you guys have done some stuff. It's not...
They got this
What's that one that
shards.
has now like 12 stickers on the front?
Oh.
It's got the Dice Tower sticker. You know what I'm talking about. What game?
It's not Everdell, is it?
I don't think it's Everdell. I think Everdell has one of the Dice Tower guys, the stickers on it, but that I just remember it because they like every award they've won, every person that's like acclaimed them and claims them as a
They
good
just put
game,
more
they have
stuff
their
on there.
like icon on the box, and it's just been growing of this like it's
Eventually
going to be a box of stickers with like their logo just shoved on top.
I was going to say eventually it's just going to be the whole box is just going to be the game title, and then the background is just going to be all of these award stickers on the box. There's going to be no artwork on the box.
I can't remember what game that is, but that was one of the things I did kind of like. It's one of those weird, I appreciate that you're not flaunting that you've won these awards, because we do these awards every year. There are specifically categories for newer games.
Yeah.
And things like that where it's like, hey, yeah, you won an award. That's cool. Oh, you won 7 awards that year. Okay, that's a whole different ball game.
Or like you've won this award every year for the last 4 years because your game is just that good.
That you just are keen, that you're topped out on top of that.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, exactly. Like, that's where those awards start meaning something to me as a like player and stuff. Where I'm like, oh, you won a bunch in this year, or you won, this, like you said, for multiple years running. That's when it matters. Other than that, congratulations. I'm glad your game did so well. It's not worth advertising to me, though. That doesn't matter to me. Because when I look up your award and it's one award, I don't care.
I don't mind it, like, on the back of the game, like, by the description where it's like, oh, we won this award, and it's like a little, like, half-inch little thing being like, we're really proud of ourselves, we won this award.
Yeah.
Cool. Don't put a sticker that's like half the size of your box on the front of your box.
I'm not kidding. Half that box is covered in things, and I want to know what it is. I can't remember what it is.
I'm not going to be able to think of it right off the top of my head.
I'm going to end up going downstairs, looking at the game wall, and I'll find it almost immediately. And then we have a place to make comments on our episodes. I'll make a comment there.
Yeah. Put a comment on the YouTube video.
It's this stupid game. It's probably not a stupid game. If I remember correct, it's one I enjoy, but I'm annoyed.
Oh, wait, was it Root?
It might be Root.
Okay.
It might be, because there's like 8 or 9 stickers on that thing, and I'm just like,
right.
Dudes, knock it off. I get that you're a great game. I really do. But at this point, if it is Root, they keep going out of stock.
Mm-hmm.
Shut up about your awards until you can get enough stock to those awards.
Last time it did come into stock, I ordered like a metric ton of them so that we wouldn't run out, because that game would always sell out like overnight. It was crazy.
You're a smart guy, but I'm just saying, if you're going to be like, oh, we won all these awards.
Also, if it is
awesome.
Root, the cover artwork on their box is so
cute.
cool. Stop putting stickers over it.
I was going to say, but how long until it's a box of stickers versus... I'm not 100% sure it's Root. Like I said, I'll take a peek, and I'll drop a
comment
somewhere on one of our streaming platforms so that you can look at it, and then I'll shout it out next month.
And honestly, if you tell me what it is when I compile this video into a YouTube video, I'll just throw a picture of it up on the YouTube video.
I forgot we're doing YouTube now, guys. I'll leave it there.
Nice. Yeah, we have a YouTube channel now.
I forgot that. I need to go subscribe to it.
Hey, if anybody's listening to this on YouTube, like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
First of all, if you're listening
Smash
to this
that
on
bell.
YouTube,
Click that like button.
Sorry,
thanks.
go
I
ahead. Sorry.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Like,
Maybe the notification bell.
That's it. That's the one.
Clicky.
Smash the like button, click the bell. That's the way to say it.
Like, subscribe.
We
like, subscribe, hit
We're-
that bell
God.
icon for notifications.
And if you are listening to us on a podcast, forgive us for that moment.
Sorry. If you are listening to us on a podcast platform, add us to your favorites on your podcast platform.
Download us, like, subscribe, smash that bell icon.
Oh, man.
Quickly, just
Either way, this still works for you.
It's true. Circling back around to Colt Express for a second.
Colt Express.
It's worth bringing up that we were playing with 3 players. I think you can play with 2, but really this game shines with more players.
Yeah.
Like 5 to 6, even more if you have expansions, is like the best way to play this game.
The more train cards, the better.
I'm gonna throw Colt Express out there for employee game night sometime.
Well, that would be great.
That'd be a really
I think that would be super fun. I would love to get a chance to try and play it because,
Yeah.
like, I've been hearing nothing but good things about it from you
One
guys.
super
like,
cute thing about the game itself is like, yes, there's the train cart, and that's kind of it.
was gonna
They have
mention-
these tiny little like decorative pieces that can go all around, like rocks and
I was
skulls
looking at the
and
pictures. And
yeah,
they're
there's
so
like cactuses and stuff that you can just like set
a
all over
random
the
barn.
place.
And
Yeah,
train
Yeah, there's like,
station.
and there's like, yeah,
It's
it's,
so
so
cute.
cute. There's like one with like a little like balcony too. It's so cute. There's
Like an
it's like a
old-fashioned
set
saloon
area.
thing,
It's not
yeah.
necessarily like a board.
Mhm.
It's like a set. It's really cool.
It's so cool. I love that that it's not a board. I love that it's just like an
It's
actual
just train.
3D
Yeah,
train
it's so
car
cool.
Yeah.
that you
Yeah.
build and put your meeples in.
And it-
That's delightful to
And
me.
it like could sound like a chore, but once you put them together, there's room for them to go back into the box built and put
Yeah.
together. So
yeah,
you don't
like
have
the
to build
box
them every
itself
time.
is built for doing
That's
this.
awesome.
Like these two had to go back to work because they work.
Right.
They're working on Sundays.
I don't know. I had to run a tournament.
But oh yeah.
Oh
that's
no,
right.
I had to play in the tournament.
Yeah,
That
you
was-
had to play in the tournament.
And I had to serve
you
the
didn't even
tournament.
have to go to work. You had to go play in the
I did.
tournament.
Oh, but that's actually, it's also worth mentioning. We had a fairly limited amount of time. Like, a couple of us were running late.
Oh yeah,
I
we
won't say who.
played a whole game.
We played a whole game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And we had like, it was like 30, 40 minutes for us to go from start to finish once we got it all
Yeah,
set up.
and
We were
I showed
convinced
up-
we weren't going to finish it.
I showed up a chunk late, and we were like, okay, well, next round we'll have it finished. And then we realized that the round after the next round was our
Was the
final
last
one, and we
one.
were like,
Oh,
we
yeah.
can all play kind of on a quicker side now that we
Yeah.
know it's.
Yeah, once you play the first round, you know how to play the game.
That's
It's
awesome.
cool. Yeah.
And
That's so cool.
And that's not a thing that a lot of the board games I personally play are.
Yeah, it's usually after the first few rounds that you're like, okay, I'm starting to
Or like,
understand.
or
Sometimes
like
it's the
one
first-
full game.
Yeah, I was gonna say sometimes it's the first couple games with some
yeah,
of
this
the
one
weird
was
things.
super easy to pick up. There wasn't like there was a couple like nitpicky like weird things. They were like, can we do that? But it was
Right.
really not a lot of like learning the game.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
easy to pick up,
Mhm.
fun party game, not super long.
No,
It would
God,
probably
no.
be longer, obviously, with more people.
Yeah, for sure.
But like probably
But even then, though, like
It-
by the last round, they're just putting cards down. So
like
It'd be one of those
hour.
ones that I think that it's a thing I'm starting to see more, and I really appreciate. It's one of those ones that I think it should have minimum players 3. Because I think, like you said, I think you can play 2, but this game really, minimum is 3 in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I think it should be 3 players, 40 minutes, plus 5 minutes per player.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
I'm starting to just see that, like, hey, this will take you 20 minutes plus, X amount of minutes per extra player and stuff like that. Like,
Right.
we set this for a 4-player, but you can play up to 8. That's going to increase your time by this X amount more. And I'd like to see that, like, they don't have to, but it'd be cool if they changed that on their box just to be like, hey, just to help people more. But that's what
I would really like to
think of
see
it
that
as.
more in games too, because a lot of times they're like, this game takes like an hour and a half, but that's if you have like the full 5-player thing, and then you sit down with your friends, like with 2 or 3 of your friends, and you're like, okay, this is going to take us like an hour and a half. It'll be a great way to kill our evening, and then you're done in like 40 minutes, and you're like, oh, so you guys want to play some D&D?
Yeah.
Yep. No, I want to play Avatar.
Oh my god.
I think-
Avatar.
I think
know.
that'll be. We'll get to that guy.
If you
I gotta
if
get
you backed
deeper
the
into that book.
Kickstarter, you should have already gotten all your stuff, and it's so cool.
So shiny.
We will have an episode this year on it. I have stupid crazy plans for that RPG in the back, and hopefully I can get enough people on board. That's the only part. This is one of the few times I'm like, crap, do I know enough people who want to play this to actually get enough people to do the stupid thing I want to do?
I mean,
Well, I know
You've
I
got 2 people at this table at least, maybe 3.
well, yeah. All right. Well, that's one bowl bending team. I need 3 others.
I mean, we could just replace our Pathfinder game with an Avatar game.
So some of our Pathfinder people aren't interested in the Avatar, and so that's the only thing is that I'm looking to figure out how to get enough people. I'm also looking to do 12 players.
Oh god. That's a lot.
Did I not tell you about that?
No.
Oh, I'll have to tell you about that after
Yes.
this. I've got stupid plans for that thing. Like, stupid big game that's going to probably take a year or 2 to actually get all the way through. And that's like playing bi-weekly.
Why don't you just do like different games with different people and then have the finale just be everybody together?
That's kind of sort of what's up.
Sorry.
But
Sidetrack.
Colt-
We can't stay on topic.
no, that's why people come here. They want to listen to us ramble about the stupid crap we're excited about. Colt Express is just the catalyst to get us all here.
It's fair. That's very fair.
Speaking of Colt Express.
Oh, hey, yeah, George. Speaking of Colt Express.
There are a number of expansions for this.
I was going to say, I think this game would be so cool with like different expansions.
Indeed.
Different trains and stuff like that. When you were mentioning the one with the
train.
two.
Yeah. So in order of when they came out, there was a horse and stagecoach one, which added a little side-by-side thing that you guys could jump off to the side, and I think there must be some kind of like fancy loot for you to get from that one. So like it just goes side by side with the train, and you can hop from one to the other.
Is it just the piece?
Yeah, it's like
Okay.
a little. It's kind of like an extra
Like
little
an
car,
add-on
but
okay.
but it's like to the side of the train instead of at the back.
Oh my gosh, I love that so much.
Yeah.
My favorite thing about spaghetti westerns when they do train heists is jumping on and off of the horses or
Right.
like onto the stagecoaches and stuff. Like that's like my favorite like nonsense thing that they do.
Yep.
Like you're gonna break all of your legs, but go ahead.
Yeah, probably.
I know a few train hoppers. I'm just saying, like, if people still are hopping trains with how fast they can get going nowadays, like,
Well, and I think part of the fun.
that okay.
That's fair. I think the expansions each add a character or two, which will then raise the player count that you can have in it. So the next one, I kind of think is the most fun one. It's Marshal and Prisoners. And with that expansion, somebody can play as the Marshal.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
cool.
Right. And then, so at that point, the flip side is then you can shoot the Marshal. So that
Are
would
the-
be
are the
granting you your
prisoners-
desire.
shot the sheriff, and I'm so excited to do it again.
Are the prisoners like playable characters? Or are they like add-ons to?
I would assume we're the prisoners at that point.
Well, that's kind of what I was thinking. Like, would they be other bandits or?
So I couldn't actually quite tell. I was doing a lot of research this morning before I got here, so like the little bit of the wires might be crossed. But it was either characters that you're not using that go into there that you can rescue, or the Marshal can. Oh, maybe or the Marshal can capture you and put you in there, and you have to like waste
okay.
around or something like that. That one, don't quote me on that one. That's just the broad strokes.
More research is required. Do it.
Oh, that sounds like so
Not
much
you,
fun.
Them.
Yeah, sure. The last one, which I do not believe is out yet, but there is a trailer for it that said coming soon, is Couriers and an Armored Train, which actually makes it a team game, or at least it has the mechanics to let it be a team game, and you're trying to be the team that just loots the most stuff. And then it adds an entire another train to the side of the train that's going in the opposite direction, and it's armored, and I'm sure it's got other stuff going on, but like it was really
If
just
it's
a teaser
armored, it
trailer
probably
kind
has
of a
some
thing.
really cool stuff on it.
So you
Yeah,
gotta
yeah,
like
blow it up.
jump onto that train and break into it and then steal stuff.
That's
for
kinda
your
what it
team.
sounds like,
That
yeah.
sounds so
That-
fun.
That sounds really dope, actually. That sounds really dope.
Yeah. And then last but not least, the one that I was mentioning earlier, the mini version, like the micro version, is called Colt Super Express.
Ooh.
And I think we have it in stock right now. That also does the thing where it's 3 to 7 players. You can't play with just 2 because it's like a condensed version that would just not be any fun with
No,
only
it
2
wouldn't.
people. So it's instead of trying to loot the most stuff by the end of the game, it's a last man standing kind of a game.
cool.
So there is a limit on how much you can get shot.
It's just a full shootout.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. And
People are
then
dying on these trains.
if you get shot or punched, I think your guy gets set on its side, and it's really only like I think at the end of every round you lose one of the cars, and if you're on that car when it goes away, then you're out of the game, and you just have to wait for the next one.
That
Interesting.
sounds
Yeah.
like so
That
much
sounds
fun.
super dope, actually.
Oh,
That
man.
sounds super fun.
So that's the other stuff that I looked into just because I thought it all looked amazing. Oh, and then I guess the cherry on top is that if you don't have Colt Express, they sell the Horse and Stagecoach and Marshal and Prisoners expansion together with Colt Express in a big box.
Yeah, I just saw the big box and was looking at that and was like, oh,
Hey, like-
the big box.
Like the crazy thing about it, I mean, it seems elaborate and stuff, but it's really not an expensive game. Like, especially compared to like a lot of other like modern board games these days.
Yeah, I was
So-
going to say, I think the big box I saw was going for like 100, if that.
I think it's like
And that's
60.
3 games?
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
and then-
pretty sure it's like $60.
I was going to be like, and that's my Horizon Zero Dawn cost me $100 per box.
Right.
It doesn't matter what I'm buying for that game. Even if it's the one giant model, it's almost $100 a game, or $100 a box.
But it
on that
looks
one.
so cool.
It
And
does.
at this point, you've just accepted defeat that like all games that you're interested in are inevitably going to be $100.
Pretty much. Like the second I'm like, ooh, I'm thinking about buying a new board game. The first thing I go, do I have an extra $100 to spend right now? Like we get our employee discount and stuff, and so that makes it a little bit easier. But it's not, 80%. It's it's enough to help knock it down a bit.
It's enough to be like, well, I didn't pay sales tax on it.
well, I didn't play full price, I guess. That minor wince as you do it anyway. Yeah.
Oh,
but
me picking up my pull list.
if it makes you feel any better, Travis also says that his pull list and pull box is disgusting right now.
I
Winter
didn't.
was hard for everyone.
I've been pulling the Norse mythology comics by Neil Gaiman.
Oh, nice.
I didn't realize that Travis was pulling me literally every variant of them. And they've been out long enough now that I feel really terrible putting any of them back out on the shelf.
Just do it. I got guys who are looking for that. So just do it and they'll go away. They'll still get sold.
I was just like, I have like 5 copies of every single issue of that. And that's a lot of comics to pick up.
Whittle yourself down to one. But final thoughts, concerns, or ideas about the Colt Express?
It was really fun playing with you guys.
Yeah, it was very fun. I liked
Looking
it a
forward
lot.
to having Hannah there for the next
I
one.
know, I would
I
love
like
to
our
play
new
with you
format.
guys. Yeah.
I think this is going to be really good because did we explain format last time? Because I wasn't here last time.
We did a little bit. So, but those of you who maybe missed our first episode of the year where we introduced our new format, we're stepping down from the bi-weekly. We're going to be recording monthly instead. But we're going to take that time that we normally would have recorded a second episode, and we're actually playing the games that we're planning to talk about.
Yeah, like I was talking with George at the beginning of the episode, we just had a couple times where 1 or 2 of us had played it, the other 2 had at least looked in and researched on it. This is going to give us a much better chance to actually play together, talk while we're playing, and form opinions and things like that, and be able to bring, hopefully, just a overall better show.
Yeah, where it's not just like one person talking about this game that they played that they really like, and the rest of us going, oh, explain that, oh, explain that, oh,
Yeah.
explain that, oh, explain that, please tell me more. Because that's not a fun, like, it's fun, but, you know.
You use a little aloe for that.
It was mostly just Drew that had played the games, and then
And over
for
here
that
just
burn?
trying to burn me.
I don't think that was pointed, but
it was a little pointed.
okay.
She looked at me the whole time. I'm assuming that was pointed.
All right. I didn't notice that.
It was pointed at me, though, because I'm the one that's usually sitting here going, Drew, George, tell me more about these games.
But yeah, we're actually going to be able to play them. We're going to get into games more with that, actually wanting to get them, and possibly we'll end up actually buying more games because we'll actually be playing them before we're swooping them. But those of you who are local and know us because of that, don't forget we have a game cabinet downstairs.
Like an
where
actual game cabinet.
At least at least Colt Express. We just talked last month about holidays and such, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So yeah, at least this month, and I'm pretty sure George and I have at least got set what we want to do in the next month. So they should be in the demo cabinet.
Yep.
That
Yeah.
you can come down and play Colt Express. We've got
our
it in the
goal
demo
is
cabinet.
to try and play games specifically out of the demo cabinet that is in the Caterpillar Cafe. Specifically, so if people are interested in the games we played, they can come down and try them out.
Yeah.
And I happen to also work in the cafe, so if you're like, hey, what games were you guys talking about? Ask.
yeah.
I'll
You've
be
got a
there.
nice little info station there.
Just
Trying to think of something else. There's another term for that.
Informant?
No, there's another one.
Point
for
of
that.
contact?
No. It's gone.
All right.
about a week ago, I added 4 or 5 really cool new games to that cabinet too. One of which might be the one we play next month. I don't know if we want to
Yeah.
tease it or not, but yeah,
Go for it. I'm going to want to play that next, so...
One that I've legitimately wanted to play for a long time now, but Subterra. We're going to give Subterra a
It's
I
shot.
want to play
back.
Subterra so much.
It's back, and on top of that, there's Subterra 2.
And we have both in the demo cabinet.
Oh my
We
god,
do.
I'm so excited about that.
So get down here and try Subterra before we try Subterra.
Yeah, before we
even.
steal
Get-
it.
get a chance and get in on that yourselves. I'm stupid excited about that game. It's a hide and seek game, essentially.
It's like
It's the best way to describe that.
the pitch that I normally give people is that if you've played Betrayal at House on the Hill, which is a favorite of some of ours,
Lots
So-
of people.
So many people.
so many people's, it's a bit like that. You're exploring a cavern underground, so it's a bit like an adventure underground.
Ooh.
Whoa. Okay, but the The similarity there is you're exploring with tiles in this space that you're moving through, and the goal is to get out and make it to the above ground.
You've killed Drew!
I killed Drew. I'm trying to finish explaining.
Trying not to interrupt
But the kicker is, while you're exploring, you only have a limited amount of battery on your flashlights, and you're trying to get out before they expire, and monsters start to attack. Monsters will attack.
I am stoked.
So yeah,
For those of you who perhaps don't know about our podcast, who are tuning in for maybe the first time, the AU Radio Podcast Network is hosted and sponsored by Adventures Underground, a small local game store in Richland, Washington.
That
It was
beautiful,
the collective
Hannah.
from everybody with no hesitation of that's what broke me, was the unified, uncommunicated from everyone.
Yep.
That was
Thank you,
Beautiful.
Chrissy. I had to practice that a lot.
Adventures Underground. When you're here, you're a family. Isn't that Olive Garden?
That's all of
Oh God.
Who cares? Same
Please
thing.
don't ever do that again.
Didn't you record our end of the blur bit anyway?
I did. I also recorded a YouTube intro, which is basically exactly what I just said.
Ooh,
Very nice.
exciting.
So if you're listening on YouTube, that was no surprise to you.
But with that, I think that we're going to take our Colt Express, shove it back into that cabinet, squeeze the door shut, and we'll catch you guys next month.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
It's so much easier not having to say, see you guys
Next
next
time.
time.
Yeah.
Being able to be like, you know what, I'll see you guys next month.
I'll see
That's
you
so much
in a month.
That's so much
30 days.
See you guys next week.
You've been listening to the Game Cabinet of the AU Radio Podcast Network. If you're interested in any of the titles from today's episode, you can check out the link tree in the description to visit Adventures Underground at their online store to browse the selections or inquire about special orders. If you'd like to contact the show, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Just check out that link tree in the description. Or you can email the show at podcast@advunderground.com. You can also support this show and all the awesome shows on AU Radio that you love by becoming a patron of the AU Radio Podcast Network. You can find us at patreon.com/ADVUnderground. For as little as $1 a month, you can help us continue to create these shows, and soon, many more.
You've been listening to the AU Radio Podcast Network. Music is provided by CubbyPurplePlanet.com and BenSound.com. Views expressed do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of Adventures Underground. AU Radio is a production of Adventures Underground. Copyright 2018. All rights reserved.